What's up, everybody? Tonight was a great night of boxing. The opening rounds didn't start off the way that I wanted them to. Manny Pacquiao had a lot of momentum from the knockdown. I ended up paying attention to the rounds. By the time we hit the seventh, I was like, damn, we're in the seventh already. The fight just really flew by. As my original trainer said, smart fighters win, dumb fighters lose. There was just some adjustments that I didn't make that I could have made. Obviously, he caught me with my hands down in the first round. I was aware of Manny Pacquiao's springiness. I was aware that I should have done my head movement. But being aware and doing what you need to do are two different things in the ring. So like I always said, I'm not afraid to let it go. If you can beat me, beat me. I was beaten tonight, and that's the sport of boxing, baby. But your boy Keith One Time is here, and I'm not going nowhere, and I'll be back.
All right, thank you, Keith. Appreciate that. And coming up now, the new WBA Super Champion, Senator Manny Pacquiao. Let's give it up for Manny. Great performance, Manny. Opening statement from Manny.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Great. I mean, I did my best. He did it best. I'm sure the fans is very happy because of the result. Although in favor of me, but I want to clap my opponent. That he's very tough. I mean, he's young. I can say he's heavy-handed, man. Not like other opponent that I faced before. This guy is he can fight. He has a lot of his journey is not in this tonight. He has a lot of future to fight, and well, the good one, don't be discouraged. This is part of boxing, and I know your journey is not over here. It's not finished. This guy is a warrior. I can say that because I've been fighting a lot of opponent, and this guy is heavy-handed, man. It's kind of opponent that you can underestimate. So, but thank you. I mean, of the support, because I did my hard work training for this fight. I think I just blessed because I got him in the first round, and that's the key. I think that's the turning the point of being a winner tonight. But God is good all the time. So thank you so much to all your support, media, press. Because of you, thank you so much.
He surprised you with what he did in the ring.
Well, he was fast. He was strong. The short steps. Everything that Manny Pacquiao always has been. He has a lot of it still left in him. I felt like I was gonna give him a pressing fight. Even though he knocked me down, I didn't care. I wanted to be in his face. I felt like he was getting a little bit tired in the later rounds, but he does train hard. He trains hard. He kept his hands up. He's been in so many wars that now he knows what not to do. He knows how to utilize his defense a little better, and that was a little bit surprising to me. I knew going into this fight that he's been the more active fighter than me, and even at the age of 40, that's probably the best thing he had going for him is the constant activity to keep him staying in shape. I told everybody I'm getting back this year after 2 years, and I just thought that Keith Thurman getting back, being the original Keith Thurman, would be able to walk away with a victory today. I felt like I had a good training camp. I could have had a better output in my numbers to go toe-to-toe with Manny Pacquiao because, he always brings that the high output. But it was a great fight, man. I feel like I tested him, and I tested myself. I wish that I could have given him more. Like I said, though, the rounds were flying by, and it is what it is, man. This is a sport. You got to lock it in round by round, And the judges, they saw it their way, and he's now the new champion. Congratulations to Manny Pacquiao.
Thank you, Keith. Manny, one question for you, if I could, right in the front. Well, two questions I'll put into one. Do you think this was your best performance since you beat Margarito in Dallas? And second, you kept up a pace faster than I can remember you in a long time. When do you think you fought at this kind of a pace last?
What I think, can you say it again, the last?
About your pace. When was the last time you fought at this fast of a pace?
My last fight. I think I did also my last fight. I mean, I always thinking about my best in every fight. I always thinking about I will tell you this. Every fight that I had in preparing of my fight, my concern is I don't want to disappoint my fans of my performance. That's why every training camp I always punish myself.
Right here, down front, Keith Eider.
Keith, the shot that Manny hit you with in the 5th round, how much damage did that do to your nose, and how was it for you to deal with that for the remainder of the fight?
It wasn't that bad. It just hit me in the right spot and created a leakage. At the end of the day, I had my nose bleeding and sparring a little bit. So I believe that he just placed it right on the button and reactivated something that I went through in training camp. And I just had to deal with it, I remember when my nose was bleeding against Diego Chavez, and it just... it didn't bother me too much. I just was focused and just trying to put some pressure on him, land some counters. But he was quite conservative and herky-jerky. And, I started to do better later on in the fight. I really thought I was putting some pressure on him, but my numbers just weren't up to par to be victorious tonight.
Okay. Dan Raphael right here.
Straight back, Manny. Congratulations on your victory.
Where do you rank this in terms of the most important fights?
I think I can rank this like Margarito fight, like De La Hoya fight, Morales fight, the Morales one, Marquez fight, Barrera fight.
Is that in
just
order?
Huh?
Are you putting it in order, or is it
No,
just
no.
among
Just
those fights?
mentioning the fights.
And why is that?
Oh, I mean, you saw tonight what we did in the ring. My opponent was very tough and strong also. First time I encounter opponent like heavy-handed like Thurman. So,
And is it possible to get Freddie's take on that also, since he's been with him for all those fights? Freddie, just your thoughts about where it ranks as far as in his pantheon of great victories, particularly because of his age.
I think it was a great win. I mean, we fought a good fight. I mean, we've been off for a while, but we had a great training camp, and I thought he did really, really well in the fight. And we won a close decision, obviously, but a split decision. But like somebody said to me, like, could you say goodbye after this fight? I says neither fighter has anything to prove. They proved so much tonight. And let's all take a rest right now, and then we'll decide what we're going to do later on. But for right now, we're just going to have a good rest.
Mark Wicker right over here.
Keith, you had things going your way. You got into the 10th round. That round was going well, and then he hit you with a body shot. How conclusive was that in terms of the fight and the round? Because it seemed like you did a pretty good job just to get out of that situation.
There was so much going, and I felt like I was grabbing some momentum back. And in that moment, I knew it was going to be difficult to really get the judges back on my side for the remainder of the championship rounds. My coach, Dan Birmingham, said you got to win every round. I felt like I needed to to possibly get a knockdown or get back. I think I ended the 10th kind of back with some trades back to Manny. But, I definitely was obviously hurt in that round. And, it was a close fight. It really was. That's what boxing's all about. You just never know what's really going to happen. Obviously he was well prepared. I know I have the skills to be victorious in the ring. But yeah, obviously 22 months out of the game, Jose Cito Lopez and then Manny Pacquiao. I try to stay active, but maybe another fight in between would have helped.
We're going to take a couple of questions for Manny, and then he's got to go. So if you have something for Manny, Andreas.
Manny, you fought a lot of guys. Can you talk about, you said Keith Thurman's very heavy-handed. Where would you rank him against with other opponents that you faced that have hit you?
Keith is like a Margarito. Margarito is heavy-handed. I think it's because he's big, too big for me. So that's why I feel like he has a heavy-handed.
He's got a mic.
Over here. My question for Manny, you have a career outside of the ring in which you are in a position to make decisions and utilize your thinking. And you took a lot of punishment in this fight that a lot of us hadn't seen you take before. Where do you plan to go? How far do you plan to go in boxing from this point, knowing that you have a career outside of the ring that may be affected by some of these punishments that you might be taking in the ring? And I have a question for Thurman after you answer that question.
Okay, your question is when I'm going to retire, but I can still fight. I can give a good fight. I can entertain the fans. This is the ability that I have. This is not my own, but God gave me this ability to continue my career for a purpose, and I believe that I'm here to inspire the fans, inspire the people of boxing. Not only that, being a role model to everyone as a follower of God, a follower of Jesus Christ.
Okay.
My question is
Manny,
Thurman.
well, hold your question for Keith. Manny's got to go, so let's give it up for Manny on a wonderful performance and congratulations on the victory.
I want to thank all of you, the media, press. Because of you, we become known this event, promoting this. Your role for this boxing event is big, so big, because you promote this. You're the one who promoted this event. So, I always consider that you help a lot. My career, in our career in boxing, not only because of our own ability, but because of your promotion of this boxing event. Thank you so much, media and press.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Keith, my question, first of all, I want to commend you, Keith, for putting up a valiant fight. You did very well for yourself, in spite of the outcome of it. There was a point in the fight where you got hit with a body shot that seemed to make you bend over. Did that really hurt?
It was a good body shot. It reminded me of the Luis Collazo. It was slightly near the solar plex. It was slightly under the rib. It probably caught me in a breathing moment. And, I just wanted to recover from it. I knew he was going to put some pressure on me. I wanted to see if he would walk into anything. But, he's very wise in there. He takes his time. He's patient. I really think that I could have pulled the fight closer to a draw without that body shot, because the later rounds were definitely starting to go my way. But But there's many times in the sport of boxing where one fight changes the course of the outcome. So for me, he started with the knockdown in the first and that body shot there later, and it was hard to convince the judges that I did enough.
Okay, this is going to be the last question for Keith. Right over here.
Okay, Keith. So after the fight, you talked about a blessing or a lesson, I believe, and you kind of just touched on it with your ring generalship and your wherewithal, how you're able to recover from those big shots. So where do you see? Well, first of all, which one was it, a blessing or a lesson, this fight for you, and then where do you go from here?
Well, I said on the stage that it was a blessing and a lesson. It was a blessing to be here at the MGM Grand, to be forming on my first ever pay-per-view fight, to have such a tremendous fight, even without the outcome coming my way. I promised you guys that this would be one of the most exciting fights of the summer. My 2-year layoff, I truly missed the sport of boxing. You guys have no idea. And just me showing my grit, my wherewithal, and just really trying to make sure that I can put together some of the best fights. Of course, I wanted to win the fight. I fell short, but it was a blessing and a lesson because we got to do a little bit more. We got to get our numbers back up. I do know that I'm a true champion. Keith One-Time Thurman has always been a true champion. I will be back at the top of the sport of boxing. And, you gotta go with the flow. You gotta take the punches as they come. And you get knocked down, you lift yourself back up. That's what champions do. So like I said, man, we're not going nowhere. We'll be back. And like I promised you guys, Keith One-Time Thurman brings the best fights in the welterweight division, man. Fight me, baby. Fight me.
All right. Thank you very much, Keith. Great performance tonight. And I appreciate everybody.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you want to see more boxing coverage, make sure to subscribe by clicking right here. And don't forget to follow Pheno Boxing on all our social media platforms.